for greater local empowerment. The local government system provided a platform for citizens to actively participate in decision-making process that directly affect their communities. Article 3 of the Constitution of Islamic Republic of Pakistan emphasizes the elimination of all forms of exploitation and to ensure social and economic justice. This duty to ensure justice goes beyond legal equality and addresses the wider socio-economic inequalities that may exist in our society. Article 9 of our Constitution guarantees the protection of life and liberty from arbitrary arrest and detention and reinforces the principle that personal liberty is a fundamental right. Article 25 provides that all citizens are equal before the law and have the right to equal protection of law. This provision not only prohibits discrimination based on race, creed, caste, or sex, but also accentuates the importance of fair and impartial treatment of every citizen. Article 37 of our Constitution outlines the commitment to promoting social justice and addressing social problems. The state has the duty to encourage the full participation of people from different regions in state activities and further emphasizes the decentralization of administration for the convenience and needs of the public. Article 38 provides that the state must ensure the welfare of all citizens irrespective of gender, caste, creed, or race. It outlines measures to raise living standards, prevent concentration of wealth, and ensure legal rights between different segments of society. The state has the duty to provide social security and to eliminate economic inequalities. Ladies and gentlemen, the Election Act 2017, a landmark law, introduced measures to increase the representations of women and girls in the electoral process. It obliged political parties to allocate at least 5% of their total seats to women. This affirmative action aims to correct historical imbalances and foster a more inclusive political environment. In addition, women in Pakistan are constitutionally granted the right to vote and run for public office. The importance of this right cannot be overstated, as it allows women to actively participate in democratic process and bring their perspectives and experiences to political decisions that affect the entire nation. Article 36 of the Constitution guarantees the protection of minorities, including their right to freely profess and practice religion. The Constitution extends protection to political representations, allowing minority community to participate in electoral process without fear of discrimination. Reserved seats for minorities in both National Assembly and provincial assemblies provide a platform for their voices to be heard at the highest level of the government. This positive action shows a commitment plurality and diversity in our democratic system. Sustainable democracy is not just a system of government. It's a living organism that needs constant nourishment and transformation. A nation's legal system needs to be flexible enough to keep up with the ever-evolving needs of society. The importance of the rule of law in the development of our country has never been higher. The rule of law is foundation upon which the principles of inclusive and sustainable democracy are built. Without a commitment to the protection of human rights and the rule of law, democracy is fragile and vulnerable to erosion. Courts are not just judicial institutions. They are the guardians of justice and the protector of fundamental rights. In a world where these rights are all too often trampled upon, the judicial system is the last line of defense. Through these decisions, courts establish precedents that guide the understanding and application of the law. Decisions not only resolve disputes, but also shape the legal landscape and influence policy and legislation. In this way, the judicial system becomes the driving force for the development of society based on justice and respect for human rights. The courts of Pakistan, while having supported democracy through landmark judgments like declaring martial law illegal in Asma Jalani's case, have also supported the separation of powers between the legislature, executive, and judiciary for greater transparency in the system. It does not mean the courts are free from all flaws. As a young democracy, we have much to learn and much to improve on. And it is my hope that one day we will be able to strengthen all our pillars of democracy. First and foremost, we must strengthen the rule of law to ensure equal protection and justice for all citizens. The rule of law is not mere abstraction. It is the bedrock on which the building of justice stands. As a judge, I am well aware of the weight of responsibility that comes with upholding this basic principle. The rule of law demands that justice be meted out impartially, without fear or favor, regardless of one's social standing, wealth, and influence. Everyone is entitled to the same protection and consideration under the law. The blindfold on Lady Justice symbolizes the impartiality that is not just a virtue but a necessity for rule of law to prevail. In Islam, every individual is entitled to dignity and respect, irrespective of their background. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ emphasized the rights of weak and marginalized in society. As we grapple with issues of social justice, it is incumbent upon us to ensure that our legal systems actively promote inclusivity, addressing disparities and safeguarding the rights of all members of society. If Pakistan wants to move ahead, then the law must regard all Pakistanis equal, irrespective of caste, creed, or gender, or religion. To do this, institutions exercising power must remain accountable. Transparency of judicial process, clear rules, and consistent application of law help create a system where citizens can trust that justice will be done. As a judge, my duty is not only to interpret the law, but to be a vigilant guardian of the rights and freedoms that support a democratic society. Legal certainty and predictability developed in the rule of law. Individuals and businesses need to be sure that their legal rights and obligations are clear and enforceable. Such predictability promotes economic growth, social stability, and an atmosphere where justice is not capricious but guided by established legal principles. However, rule of law is not without its challenges. It requires constant vigilance, adaptation of social change, and an unwavering commitment to justice. As a judge, I must interpret the law every day in the manner consistent with the society's evolving values while remaining true to its founding principles. Ladies and gentlemen, the legal framework should adapt to the challenges of digital age. The digital world has brought with it limitless communication, making cybersecurity, and privacy paramount. As we punch into digital ecosystem, our legal framework must be strengthened to combat cyber threats while protecting people's privacy rights. Jurisdiction such as a European Union implementing the General Data Protection Regulation are an example of proactive approach to protecting privacy in the digital age. In a world where information flows seamlessly across borders, our legislation must be equipped to combat cybercrime, safeguard data protection, and ensure the responsible use of technology. Pakistan must also safeguard its citizens' rights by shaping its legal response to the complexities of the digital landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, as we deal with these issues, let us not forget the importance of legal education and awareness. Judiciary has a dual responsibility in promoting legal education and awareness. First, we in legal community must ensure that aspiring lawyers receive comprehensive and relevant training. The education must not only provide them with the necessary legal knowledge, but also instill in them a deep sense of ethical responsibility and commitment to justice. Second, judicial authorities must actively reach out to the wider community to raise awareness of legal rights and responsibilities. Outreach programs, workshops, and partnerships with educational institutions can be effective tools for spreading legal information. We must promote a society where individuals are not passive subject of law but are active participants in its development. A society that is aware of its rights and responsibilities is better prepared to participate meaningfully in the democratic process. The Quran encourages seeking knowledge